That's not a nice question to ask me about the 70s, by the way. Well, it's very different. It's totally different. In the 70s, my job was to do commercials, 30-second commercials, sometimes a billboard or in an ad. And now we do, as you know, many things, on social media, events, apps. I've just made a speech presenting innovations we've done for our clients, which are product innovations as well. So it's a totally different world, It's and it's very different for another reason. It's now your generation, young people, because of the internet, you don't like old-fashioned, repetitive advertising. You want fresh ideas, entertaining. So creativity has become, was kind of optional in the past. Some people didn't believe that creativity was good for selling. Now everybody understands you have to be creative. It's becoming essential, which is good news for the young generations, because clients and everybody is asking for more creativity, and that was not the case in the 70s. Well, I don't find my inspiration because I've never found an idea myself. My job is, I used to be a planner, so my job is to inspire other people. And to inspire other people, you have to come with very innovative, fresh briefs. The brief is the most important thing in that business. The way you brief the creative guys, because they are very talented, but if they don't have a good brief, they cannot come with something good. So to come with a good brief, you have to look for insights, for new perspective, new ways of looking at things. And one of the best ways to feed yourself is to look at the world, to listen on what's going on, to read books, to go to the movies, to be really curious. So it's not so much about listening, it's about being very curious. You have to be really open to the world if you want to be a good advertising person.
Okay.
Well, at the beginning, as I said, we chose that word disruption in English. In French, we say stratégie de rupture, which means the same thing, which is beautiful. But in English, it doesn't work. So disruption was at the time, and still, by the way, a very difficult and uncomfortable word in English. Now, so we started the disruption methodology in 1990. And at that time, to answer your questions, many of my clients were very uncomfortable with the world. They agreed with the idea. I'll tell you about the idea in a moment, but they didn't like the world. But step by step, the world has been taken by everybody, many business writers, and now it's a very strange world because it's still very negative outside of business. If there is a big tsunami, people will say there's been a very big disruption in Thailand. But in business, it has become very positive. Our definition of disruption is very simple. Is everything that you do which is not incremental or gradual, something which is really a break from what's done before. And the disruption methodology is to help our clients coming with disruptive strategies. And we do disruption days, and 20 people from the client side, 20 people from the agency side. And in the last 10 years, I think we've done more than 5,000. So we've got 200 offices, you see. So, but at the end of the day, maybe more than 100,000 people have been going through a disruption day. Because people call it open innovation. In the past, innovation was always done in a research department of the companies. People didn't want to talk about it because they were afraid that some other people would steal their ideas. So it was very close, behind the doors, and it was something really done between some people inside the company, but they would never open themselves to the outside world. Now, we all understand that you are very creative, everybody is very creative, everybody can help. So all companies now, many companies are opening themselves through the internet and asking people outside to help. They can ask you, but they can ask specialists on something, specialists on something else. And to give you an example of what I mean, Procter & Gamble, that big company, they used to be extremely inward looking. They are really afraid of leaks. Everything was confidential. Now, the CEO of P&G has said not a long time ago that more than 50% of the innovations of Procter & Gamble in the last 10 years came thanks to the help of people outside the company. To quote him, he said, my research and my R&D department, research department, has moved from 2,000 people to 12 million. Without raising my overhead, you see? That's the way he put it. So you have to be able to use the help of everybody in the world. That's crowdsourcing. Well, I just said 10 minutes, 5 minutes ago. I think I see it really very positive, because this century will need really a lot of innovations and creativity. If you think about energy, if you think about education, if you think about health, you know, we will survive only if everybody comes with fantastic innovations. So the whole century will be about innovation and creativity, about open minds, and that's what we are. So as an industry, so I think we are very lucky, as I said, to be in this industry at the time when the world is asking every day for more and more innovation and creativity. So you have all the possibilities offered by the internet and the new technologies. So every day we have new ideas thanks to these new channels or these new ways of doing things. And so our business is reinventing itself every 2 or 3 years, and it's fantastic, if you ask me. Well, as you know, TBWA, you know, everybody knows here that TBWA Istanbul is a great agency, number 1 or number 2, always the most awarded or one of the most awarded. So for us, it's a great agency. And our network is young, new, 10, 15 years old, you see, and we have a lot of strong local agencies. So, not so many, but for instance, we have Turkey, we have Belgium, Holland, France, LA, not everywhere. And what we try and do in our company, when an agency is very good, we try to be sure that everybody in the world knows about what they do, so they have an influence. So the good news with TBWA in Istanbul, not only they are very successful here in this country, but because of all the things they do, everybody, you would be very surprised in Paris or in China. People know about these campaigns we've been discussing today from TBWA Turkey. You see, so it's an office who has a big influence on the whole network, and that's very good.
Okay.
Well, ideas come from everywhere. It's a fact that creative ideas, advertising ideas can come from everywhere. It's a fact that if you talk about innovation, because in the developing countries, you have less infrastructure. Sometimes you have a kind of a scarcity of resources. People are thinking differently in terms of innovation, and they are very good. So if you look at all the innovations from companies like General Electric, for instance, or whatever, 80% of their innovations in the last 6 or 7 years came from emerging countries. And that's good, you see, because you have to think differently. In the Western countries, they think step by step, like a factory. Here or in some other countries, they are much more ingenious. It's about ingenuity. And so that's why a lot of innovations are coming more and more from these coming countries. In the Western countries, they call it reverse innovation that comes from back to the other countries. And it's a big thing, reverse innovation. Well, I was amazed because I had no clue when I came today. I thought it was a beautiful festival and award show, and some people like you and me or whatever would be invited to make a speech. And I thought I was expecting, we have the same thing in Paris. It's 500 people. Here you got how many? 6,000 or 3,000? I don't know.
I'm not sure yet.
It's huge. It's huge. So I'm amazed by the scope of it, and it's very well organized. And so I was happy to come, and I'm even more happy than I came.